I'd like to start off with the beginners, rather than somebody who knows a lot about pathways, who will ask a really technical question that I could certainly answer, I hope, and then confuse everybody. I'd rather start with the really basic questions, like, what's in it for me? I saw a hand right over here. Who is this? Yes?
I was wondering about the timeline. My impression was that it was going to be brought out this fall, but you said we're not going to start using it until next year.
Yes, I said that. And they're not telling us. We don't know. Right now, here's what happened. Is that we have 3 districts now that are up and running. Or, well, one is just starting this past week. The other 2 districts, one started February 7th, the other one on March 20th or something like that. And those districts are going full bore. What we found out when they launched the pathways is that, number one, our demographics were totally off. We thought the people that grab it would be the younger people, the less experienced people, the people who were more hungry, I guess, to get into the Toastmasters experience, when in fact it was the average membership of the people who were getting into it is 4.4 years. That's more than the average membership of a person ever. Most people don't last in Toastmasters for 4.4 years. And so what's happened is now we have all these people that are getting on, they're adopting earlier than we ever thought. So we have a more senior group coming into it. Yes, it is, but it's being also picked up by the younger people because it's more of a millennial thing. It's all online, and it's a lot of networking, and it's a lot of technical stuff. And so they thought, well, us old geezers probably wouldn't pick it up. Well, I'm all for it. I'm excited about it, and I'm into it 100%. So what happened is the IT people got hold of the board of directors, and they said, what do you guys think you're doing? This is year end. For those of you who don't know, Toastmasters has a fiscal year, which is July 1st to June 30th. What happens starting right about now is every club in the world is scrambling, or hopefully every club in the world is scrambling to make sure that they make Distinguished Club. So they're putting a lot of stress on the systems. What happens then is the districts come online because they're all desperate to make Distinguished District. And so they're getting all the new clubs in they can get, they're getting all the members renewals they can possibly get. They're doing all the things that they can do to make themselves distinguished or qualify for distinguished. And so that puts more of a burden on the systems. And it's starting now. It's already going. What happens is we go through June, well through May, then through June, is it amps up considerably, puts a lot of taxation onto the resources, and it bogs things down. IT people were saying, guys, come on. The system's overloaded already, and now you want to start throwing this new stuff on it. Can you give us a month? 2? And they said, okay. So basically, they've stopped all new development except for the pilot projects that are going. They've stopped us taking whole new regions on board. So the first region that's going to go on will be Region 6, and that's going to be happening in very late July. So everything's been stopped and then pushed back. And then our regional layout, we're Region 3, and our time originally was scheduled to be around November time. And looks to me like, I'm the optimist. You show me a trailer full of horse dung, and I'll swear there's a horse in there. And so the thing is I'm looking at this, and when I look at it, I say, well, we could still be launching about this time next year. And I've got other people who are saying, now it will be probably in the fall before we get to launch. And the board, when I talked to the people at Toastmasters International, which I spoke to just yesterday, again, they're saying nothing. They won't, either they know and they won't tell us, or they don't have a clue either. So that's where we are. We're launching, we're delaying our launch, and did that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. Who else is fairly new? Yes, in the back.
Toastmasters have its own.
Oh, here comes a mic. This is even better, so we can.
Hello. Does Toastmasters have its own server, or is it outsourcing its server to someone else?
Yes.
Dog.
You open the door to ITs and they'll sneak in. Yes, we do have our own server. However, this is a contracted job. We hired this outfit and paying them good money to actually develop pathways and to bring it to where it's come. This project started in 2010. So it's not like we're just getting started and there's going to be a lot of mistakes. We're going slowly on purpose because we want to do it right the first time. So that's what it is. And so yes, we have our server, but also our server, and we're relying on their equipment as well. So the answer is yes to both. Next question. Oh, right there, okay. Wait a minute, wait, hold, you're an area director, you're supposed to know stuff.
I don't know at all.
Okay.
I thought I saw on the screen digital evaluations. Did I
Yes.
see that, and what is that?
Okay, I can answer that. But, you know, why would you pick on something that I think has a weakness in it? Because now I have to tell you about what I think the weakness is. We're going to have evaluation. Well, this whole thing is online. You're going to go to a thing called your base camp. You get to the base camp by getting on. How many of you have ever been online to Toastmasters? Or, never mind. How many people have never gone online to Toastmasters.org? Raise your hand if you've never gone online. Good. Because that makes you guys the brightest people on the planet Earth. Because in fact, only about 2% of the members of Toastmasters around the world have ever gone online. Yeah. Shocking. So, that said, the way to get into what is called your base camp, the way to get into all things pathways, is by logging on to Toastmasters.org. And then you'll click on your base camp, you'll go into your navigator, you go into base camp, and away you go. So there's that. Now, what was your question? Oh, you were about evaluations. Okay, here we go.
Evaluations, does that mean we get them written?
Yes. But therein lies the Achilles muscle, the tendon. Because what happens here is this. When you're going to be giving a speech, you're going to be going into your pathways, you're going to your path, and your path will tell you whatever, and every speech has its own evaluation. And oh, by the way, there are 10 paths. There's about 14, roughly, projects in every path. Every speech has its own evaluation. And even though every path, for example, has an icebreaker, the evaluations are different for the icebreaker in each of the different paths. So, the evaluation is there. A smart Toastmaster will print that evaluation, bring that to their meeting with them, get together with their evaluator and say, would you give me a written evaluation? See, now this is where I see the challenge of it, and I'm dying to talk to people who are doing this, and I haven't gotten a clear answer. I have talked to some of them, but I haven't gotten a clear answer yet. How's that working out for you? And what's happening is the smart ones, they bring the evaluation with them, they have the person write it down, they take it home, and then they staple it in their book, or they hang it on their wall, or they throw it away, they do whatever they do with it, and that's kind of the end of it. They need to make sure that that evaluation gets put in electronically, so it's part of their permanent record. And that's a bit of a challenge for it, but I also see that these evaluations are so much more powerful and so much more supportive. And it's all about supporting the member, and I'll tell you what, they have knocked this one out of the park. And yeah, the evaluations are wonderfully powerful. It takes a lot of, it makes it easier for a newer member to evaluate a more senior member. You guys ever know that? Probably you should feel like that. Oh God, I'm not even a CC yet, and they got me evaluating a DTM. So it takes all those issues away, and it's wonderful. It really is. Or the smart evaluator will go in there and electronically get the evaluation, and will sit there in their meeting with their laptop or their iPad or even their phone, and can actually go online and do it right on the spot online. So I think that the younger, more technically inclined people will do that online. I'll do it online, and some of the old geezers like myself would want the paper. But we've got to see how that's going to work out. We just don't know yet. I got right behind you, Robert.
Doug, I have a two-part question. The first question is, as the Chief Pathways Ambassador, are you able to see the entire base camp as though one of the members in the clubs that have already rolled out? Do you have the same experience that they do? And if not,
who cares?
And if not, have you considered joining one of those clubs so you can get that experience now?
No, I never thought about that. I'd never thought about, yeah, and the answer to the question, the other question is, can you? Absolutely. Any one of us in this room could join one of those clubs in District 57 that's using Pathways. And you'd have full access to Pathways and the whole 9 yards, and that's very clever, Robert. Thank you. Yeah, they're gonna get, yeah, that's right. They're going to get a lot more members. Where? Over to your, there, where? Okay, how about this beautiful young woman right over here?
I noticed in the education videos you had mentoring versus coaching. Is there a pathway for someone that wants to be an ongoing speech mentor or an ongoing speech coach, or to be a speech coach, or to be a speech mentor?
Very good question. The thing that people haven't realized yet, or at least most people haven't realized yet, that I picked up early on, is that with the Pathways program, it is a paradigm shift. It's not just shifting the way that we do our educational program. It's not just changing from the paper to electronic. Part of the program is the idea of the concepts of mentoring versus coaching, and there is a whole section in there on mentoring. And it's going to bring mentoring up to a level like we've never seen before. It's also going to bring coaching up to a level that we've never seen before. These are very, very powerful tools. And if you, did I tell you what the basic, really great thing about Pathways is? There's 300 different disciplines in Pathways. And the thing about these, it's over 300, and it's growing. It's not going to stop at 300. But there's over 300 right now, things that you can do in Pathways. Every single one of them is you can take and right now translate it to whatever you're doing. It works in your community, it works in your job, it'll work, of course, in your Toastmasters program, it may even work in your family. So you can begin to take the things that you're getting out of Pathways, and mentoring or coaching are key, especially in the family, but don't tell anybody I said that. Just those two tools right there will change your life, and I mean that literally. They will change your life. Very, very powerful stuff. And it's all available. As soon as you join those clubs in District 57, that stuff is going to be available to you. Turn right around behind you and see Lupe.
Thank you. Doug, I have a question that may be crazy, but what about...
That's why I love you, Lupe.
Yeah, I know that. What about all those members who do not really have access to computers, or who are averse to computers because they just don't do it?
Okay.
We have one such member in our club. We mentor him a lot. We help him a lot. But there are many members in our communities who do not have access or do not care to have access. What happens to them? Do they just go by the wayside?
Yeah, we kick them out.
I just hope not.
No,
You know,
we don't do
tell
that.
us.
Thank you, Lupe. That's a valued question. But let me ask you guys. How many in this room do not have access to a computer or don't want to be involved with computers at all? I mean, I'm showing you an example of raising a hand. I don't see a hand raised. Did that answer your question, Lupe? Kinda. They're very few and far between the people who don't want to play. However, Pathways is available in paper. It's not nearly as robust, and you won't get everything that you get in the online experience. The thing about Pathways is that we want to make this for everybody. But you know what's going to happen? Us old guys, we're going to die. Yes, I know. I know. Don't start mourning my loss yet. We're all going to go away, one way or the other. Either we won't be able to make it to the meetings anymore, or something's going to happen, and that generation of people will just go away. And that may be 5 years from now, that may be 25 years from now, but the thing is that they will filter out. And those people who want to hang on to the paper, God bless them, you can. We support that. For as long as you want to play. It'll still be available in paper, but not the whole program. I see, actually somebody way in the back. Wave, the Queen wave.
Hi, this is Olivia Mitchell from Community Toastmasters. As one of your minions, that's what I call myself, as one of your ambassadors, I am getting this question again and again and again. The question is, I feel like this program is more towards the corporate sector. I feel that I'm going to be weeded out as a community member. Please tell us all how you feel about that and what the solution as an ambassador. Thank you.
Good question. Who else feels like that? Anybody else feel like that might be the way? It's aimed really toward corporate stuff and we may wean out the community guys? No. Nothing could be further from the truth. The thing is simply this. Yes, it does work beautifully in corporate. In fact, right now in San Antonio, we have 5, Kathy Moore, where are you? Right there. How many corporations have we got that we're talking about putting pathways into? About 5? Okay, and so we've got City of San Antonio, we've got Kathy's Medtronics, we've got, anyway, a bunch of corporations in San Antonio that, yes, they are frothing, wanting pathways because they want to make that part of their corporate training. We've come, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to this point. We have become, what's that word I want? What? Not premier. Well, yeah, we're that too. First choice provider. First choice provider. Thank you. That's a good. No, the word I'm looking for is relevance. We have become. We have become relevant to the corporate world. We have become something they want to make a part of their corporate training. The HR people want us to come in and be a very, very valuable partner with them in providing the training to their personnel. Why do you suppose that is? Never mind pathways. Why do you think they'd want Toastmasters to do that? Yeah, Jim, what do you think? They're not getting it anywhere else. You know, we are the only organization on the planet that gives people feedback. When you get up and do a presentation, somebody will come back up to you and say, you know, God, I love the way you did this, and I think you could have made it even more powerful if you tried this. And show us different ideas and different ways that we can do something a little differently that will give us more impact. We're the only organization on earth that does that. That's powerful. And that's what's making us so relevant. So, about this corporation versus community issue. Guys, everybody who works for a corporation, oh gosh, I think they're involved in a community someplace. You know, they have their churches ties, they have their church ties, they have their Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts, they have the Kiwanis and the Lions and the Rotaries. They have all these different organizations they're a part of. Everything you're going to be doing in Pathways will tie directly into whatever that thing is. You will take lessons right out of Pathways and put them right smack into your toolbox for whatever it is you're doing in any aspect. And so whether you're a corporate person or whether you're a community person or whatever you are, you will be able to take the value and the important lessons of Pathways and use them to your benefit and your advantage. See, that empowers you to be more powerful. Let's give that a hand. I like that. You know? Who's got that? How about Chris right over here? Come on, Chris, you're not that old. Did you hear him? He stood up, and as he stood up, he went, ooh! That's what old people do, Chris.
To be frank, it was more of a, but close enough. Doug, I'm really excited about the ideas about Pathways and where it's going to go and where it's going to lead us. However, as a Toastmaster who has put X amount of effort towards the current educational program, and I'm so close to, well, my first ETM, I know, I'll get there. How much time? I'm afraid that all that work towards my DTM is going to become irrelevant, and they're just going to kick it to the dirt and say, start over. Well, is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Forget it. Everything you've done is going to go away.
Can I get a refund?
No. Here's one more advantage of us being delayed a little further is guess what? That gives you even more time. Right now, we were saying, well, you'll have 2 years from the time that the last district launches their pathways. You'll have 2 years from that point, to where they make their full rollover, then 2 years after that. So right now, you've got 3 years. Easy to finish whatever you're working on. Okay? And anybody starting from scratch could probably get a DTM in 3 years. You'd have to apply yourself, be a little bit organized, but you could do that. 4 years, guarantees, well, you could do that. So, don't stop. Keep going. You know, Albert Einstein said, "We never learn less, we only learn more." When you keep applying yourself in your books and do the things that are here, these simple lessons, learning better body gestures, vocal variety, diction, dialect, enunciation, the things that we teach in the very basic elementals of Toastmasters to every member, as you get better and better with those things, you become more and more confident no matter what. And so don't stop. In fact, take on a new project. Go after another DTM. Start now. Okay, which reminds me, the only challenge a lot of times to becoming a DTM is there's a fixed number of opportunities to satisfy one of those requirements for the Advanced Communicator Silver. And that is that you must serve a full term as a district officer. I have some news for you. This was just released. As Chief Ambassador, I get credit toward a DTM. However, the Pathways Guides, which we can't talk about yet, well, we can talk about them, I suppose, but it won't do any good. Pathways Guides, they will get credit toward their DTM. It's also been opened up that the people who are and will become Pathways Ambassadors will get credit toward their DTM. So that's a way that we can kind of go, we can expand that by about 40 per year of the number of people who can actually get credit for the DTM in doing that. That's a brand new thing that the Board of Directors has allowed us to do. I saw a hand over here.
Hey, my name is Balu, and you mentioned there are changes to the way we have the learning content, how we proceed to our goals and things like that, things that are outside our meeting. But are there any changes to the way we conduct our meetings, how we proceed, table topics, anything outside that? How is it going to affect the way we conduct the meetings?
I'm not sure I got all that.
That's how we conduct our meetings.
Yeah, that's right. The question had to do with, will the meetings be different? Good question. No. Your meeting will look the same. It'll feel the same. It'll be the same. You're going to walk into your meeting and you're going to be the Toastmaster of the day or an all-counter or the timer or the grammarian. Whatever it is you have in your meeting today is still going to be in your meeting tomorrow. That's not going away. The meeting structure and format is exactly the same. How your meeting feels, well, it's going to feel the same way. You're going to come in and you're going to be seeing a bunch of friends that you see, you look forward to seeing them every week or every 2 weeks, whatever it is, and you're going to have that same meeting. Speeches will be given, evaluations will be given, the odds will be counted, the Toastmasters Day will do their thing, the general evaluator, the evaluators, everything will remain exactly as it is today. So you're not losing any of your old traditions. I saw the hand right over. Actually, it's behind you. That fell in the, is that salmon color? What color is that? Is that a pink?
I don't know.
I like it. I like that color.
I think it's red. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Doug. I'm Ricardo. I'm with the IBM Toastmasters. I have 2 questions for you.
Hi, Ricardo. IBM?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I'm a Mac guy.
First question is, what if you're 5 speeches away from finishing your DTM and the pathway is rolling? How much does it change your path? And the second question is are you guys using IBM servers?
Are we what? IBM servers. Oh. Well, we tolerate IBM and Dell. Actually, Toastmasters embraced it because IBM, their first computer was a 1401 at the world headquarters back in the days. If any of you guys know what a 1401 was, you're almost as old as I am. That's me. Okay. So, the first part of your question is 5 speeches away from a DTM. Well, you probably wouldn't be 5 speeches away from DTM. You'd probably be some like an HPL or high performance leadership project or something like that. The thing is this: you're going to have, from the time this district launches, from the time we launch, you're going to have probably 3 years to finish whatever that is. So if you can't do 5 projects within the 3 years, go look for a job with Microsoft. So I'm confident that anyone in this room could do everything, could certainly do 5, could do everything you need to do for DTM. Like I say, if you're organized, you can do it in 3 years. Actually, I've heard of people doing it in 2. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. Umberto. Here's a mic.
How will the youth leadership and Gavel clubs form into pathways, or how will they develop with pathways?
You might know, Umberto would ask that question because he's the youth leadership guy for the district. Here's the thing, with youth leadership, I don't have an answer for that, okay? We're still going to function. Oh, man. No, there's no answer to that because the board hasn't answered that. We don't, that's later, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it kind of thing. And the thing is that a youth leadership or a speechcraft, how many in this room know what a youth leadership and or a speechcraft is? Raise your hands. Look around, keep your hands up, look around. That's good, but not nearly good enough. Everyone in this room should know what those 2 programs are, because they're vital to our club growth and our membership stability. Now that I've said that, I'm not going to say anything more about them. Either you know or you don't. So the thing about it is, those programs are each of them 8 meetings long. Those meetings can be incorporated into a typical club. A lot of them are. The speechcraft are oftentimes done in the club meeting. And so it's 8 meetings. I think speechcraft, by the way, are wonderful because it gets a club back to basics. It reminds every member of that club what all the basic elemental things of Toastmasters is. They teach parliamentary procedure. They teach evaluation. They teach all those things during that 8-session event. So that's not, I don't see that having a problem with pathways. In fact, and if we have people who are on pathways who are leading them, well, guess what? Those 2 programs are definitely a part of pathways. It's one of your projects that you get to do, or one of your optional events that you can do within your pathways, your paths. And so there's plenty of paths that offer those 2 programs. So like I say, those are isolated programs. I use the word terminal because they're only 8 weeks long. Then they terminate. And with speechcraft, what we noticed with speechcraft is about 8. By the way, if you don't know this, hear this, think about it, and then go take it to your club. Only if your club is struggling for members. If everybody has all the members they need, then don't pay attention to this. When you do a speechcraft, 80% of the people who do the speechcraft join your club. So whether you do a speechcraft with 8 people or with 20 people, 80% of those people will be joining your club, will become members of your club. Oh, could we call that a membership building thing? Maybe, yeah. And the youth leadership, well, they're just too young. But youth leadership is a mini speechcraft. It teaches all the kids the basics, the elementals of communications. And I can tell you this. We got our speechcraft, or our youth leadership, put into a high school in Honolulu a number of years ago. Roosevelt High School, as a matter of fact. And we did it for 2 years. And we did it until we killed all the Toastmasters who were wanting to play. Because, of course, they're schools, they meet during the day, and so only, quote, retired people, and they met 2 days a week, and they'd meet through a semester. And so every Tuesday and Thursday we were having to truck down to the high school, and people just couldn't do that. And we were put on 2 one-hour sessions because we had 2 classes signed up. The kids, they were backlogged. They were signed up a year ahead to get into it. The kids were loving it. I didn't think they'd like it at all. These are all high school juniors, 15, 16-year-old kids. I didn't think they'd like it at all. They loved it, and they wanted more and more and more. And we just ran out of Toastmasters who could do it. And the school had absolutely put us on their curriculum and everything. It was fantastic. So if any of you guys know schools, know principals, if you talk to them about this program, be careful because they're going to grab it and they're going to want to run with it. So, that answer.
Doug, we have a question over here.
Okay. Stand up. Oh, sorry.
Thank you, Doug. I appreciate that. Doug, will the Vice President of Education be able to see the online finished reports, and will Easy Speak be obsolete?
And will it be obsolete?
Easy Speak.
Oh, thank you for asking that. I'm going to answer the first part first, and then I'll get back to Easy Speak. The thing she asked, well, the Vice President, well, I just want to say this about the Vice President. The Vice President of Education, it's on them for the club. They are the pathways person. They're the ones that will have to go in and make sure that you've gotten all your credits for all the things you get. You're going to get badges, awards way earlier than we do. Now you have to go 10 speeches to get your first advance. In Pathways, it's 3. And so yeah, it's, but that's all on the VPE. They can have access to any of the members. So they can get into the members' files, they can see what the members are up to, they can support the members, they can clear up mistakes that happen, and mistakes will happen. And so they can do all of that. Now, one of the things that was announced, and it's something that I've been saying, so I'll own this, I've been saying since the inception of Pathways that Club Toast Host was going to, or Free Toast Host was going to be going away. I'm wrong. I hate when I'm wrong. But the fact is that about 40% of the clubs in the world use Free Toast Host. Only about 2 or 3% of the clubs in the world use Easy Speak. Yeah, it's kind of shocking. So, the Free Toast Host has been modified. It's already happened. It's already been modified and updated. And as we roll out Pathways, Free Toast Host will then reflect those speeches, and the paths will be within Free Toast Host. So if your club is on Free Toast Host, you don't need to change. You can stay with it. If you're on Easy Speak, you can stay with it. Same thing. Easy Speak is all ready to go. I talked with Malcolm last week. Malcolm Walden, the fellow who created Easy Speak, and I had asked him years ago, is Easy Speak going to be aligning with Pathways? And he, in those days we called it the REP. What was REP, Linda? Thank you. The Revitalized Education Program was what we used to call it. And in those days, so I said, is it going to be aligned with this? Is this going to carry this forward? And he just said, don't worry, it's taken care of. That's as much as he could say. TI said, you cannot talk any about this. So, yeah, it's already there. And right now, all the club has to do is be in a district that is being rolled over into Pathways. It's already there. Once your district is turned on, Pathways will be turned on your club computer. And all of the speech, all the projects, all the paths, everything will be there. Gloria.
Doug, we have a question here.
Oh, okay.
How will the meeting roles and all the other leadership roles requirements in the leadership manual, how will that translate into Pathways?
Good question. None of the leadership roles in your club are going to change. None of the leadership roles in districts are going to change. So they'll all remain the same. The thing that is good, though, is that when you do some of those roles, they will still count. If there's a requirement in Pathways that you perform a role, like you serve as a district officer or something, your time as a district officer will still count. It will not go away. If you've done an HPL in the past, and you haven't applied that HPL to anything yet, it's still going to be good. You'll still be able to apply it within Pathways. Pathways, they have a new term. They don't call it the HPL, they call it the a capstone project, yes. And it looks, smells, acts exactly like an HPL. I can't tell the difference from what I've seen, and I've talked to the chief ambassador in District 57 who's actually using it, and he can't see any difference either. Just a new name, yeah. So all the things that you've done that were time, had a requirement of a time or of something to do, those will still count. The only thing that won't count anymore is completion of the entertaining speaker manual. You'll still have it. No, it'll still be in your file. All those things will go with you forever because you know that once you put something in a computer, it's there for, or online actually, it's there forever. So it's going to be there. So whatever you've done is still always going to be there. Okay?
Doug, we
Yes,
have
sir.
one here.
Hey, Doug. I've got a question for you regarding membership. Do you need to be a member of Toastmasters in order to access Basecamp to do the evaluation?
Absolutely.
Okay. With that, this is probably a suggestion more than a question. Do you think Toastmasters might entertain the option to enter someone that's not a member as a way to identify what path they may go on as a recruiting tool? Say, listen, if you join Toastmasters, you'd be able to go down this path and develop these skills.
Why would we do that? Wait. Why would we do that?
As a recruiting tool, it shows someone what opportunities they'd have within Toastmasters if they join and follow a path.
No. Now that's just using our resources for something that might or might not happen. Let's get somebody on the books, paid their dues, have them, be able to be voted into a club, and let them get on your path. If you guys want to grow, it's like being happy. If you want to be happy, be. Yeah. If you want to be happy, clap your hands. Yeah. The thing is, so if you want to grow, grow. If you want, it's like dating somebody forever.
Whoa.
Whoa. No, I mean, let's either do something or let's not do something. Lead, follow, or get out of the way. Just do something. And so if you want to grow, and if you want to grow through pathways or any other thing, if you want to become a better Boy Scout, go join Boy Scouts. If you want to become a better presenter in the world, if you want to have the tools that Toastmasters has to offer people, go join Toastmasters. If you want to become a better Christian, go join that church that sparks your fire. It's whatever you want to be it. But don't be halfway about it. Step into it and say, I own this. Because if you don't own it, it's not yours. You'll never have it. And I'll tell you what, if you own pathways when you get into it, it will be yours. You will have it, and you will benefit so greatly from it that you'll look back and say, how did I ever get along before? How did I get along before pathways? And I'm serious as a train wreck when I say that. That's how powerful and dynamic this program is. It's coming, folks. It's coming. It's a train coming down the track, and it's going to be here one of these days. But when it gets here, hang on to your shorts because it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be growing very, very fast in District 55.
Doug, we have one more over here.
Okay.
It's me again, Doug.
I know.
I really want to share Toastmasters with my friends online, but I'm finding it difficult to do that. But one of the things I've done is on LinkedIn, I've joined the Toastmasters International group, and I find things on there that I'm able to post on my timeline.
Okay.
Are there going to be any opportunities to promote promotional materials for Toastmasters that can be used online that I can just share?
Good question. This is a life question. This is not a pathways question. This is a life question. I'm going to ask you something. When you think about doing something in your life, do you go seek someone to ask permission of? Or do you go out and look and say, who's going to stop me? Yeah, me too. If I want something, I just look at that thing that I want and say, now who's going to stop me from having that, from getting that, from growing, from learning, doing the things that I have to do? So, Pathways is currently fully multimedia. You can share your pathways through Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever all those things are. It's available on all aspects of media, anywhere you go. If you want to share, yes, you can. That might answer your question a little better.
What about posters that we use physically to put on a wall? Will there be little things that we can send out for
There might be, I don't know. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'll bet right now today you could do that. Just go up and Google, Toastmaster themed posters. And I'll bet you find 100,000 of them out there. That other districts of people around the world have done and have used. How about right there? Good-looking guy in the Aggie shirt.
Doug, you know how we love alphabet soup at the end of our designations and so forth, CC, CL.
Yeah.
So I know that DTM is going to be hanging around. Are there going to be any interim designations under Pathways?
No. And there's a great thing about that. You're going to be, Susie Quickmeyer Toastmaster until you're Susie Quickmeyer DTM. You know what's great about that? Oh, I took mine off.
One badge.
Your name badge, one badge. You don't have to buy a new badge.
Good point.
Okay, one badge will last you until you get your DTM. And oh, by the way, you know what percentage of people ever make, well, never mind DTM, what percentage of the people in the world of Toastmasters ever go beyond CC? Ever go for advanced anything? What? Less than 1%. So that makes us DTMs pretty rare. You know, I have 6 of them. 6 of them. Yeah, I'm really rare. I see a hand way over there in the corner. Who's that? Stand up so we can see you. Oh, is that Jim? Okay. Jim. Oh, it's Joe. Never mind. It's Jim. Yeah. Now this better not be a techie question. Okay.
No, don't worry, Doug. It's not a techie question. What it is, I just wanted to get an idea. What is a typical path to a distinguished Toastmaster in Pathways?
Well, how do they compare?
Well, they just what kind, like what can you expect to be
difficult?
doing? I know that there's a.
Oh, okay.
Yes, right. Like there, you know, you say there are several paths to go down. I just want
to. Right now there's 10 paths to Pathways. To be a DTM, you must complete 2 of the paths. Any 2 of the 10 paths. The path that is most popular right now, anyway, in the 2 districts that are up and running full tilt, the paths that are most popular are, I want to say presentation skills is actually a path where you actually get to do what Toastmasters do, and people are really, that's the one that they're wanting the most right now. They want to, I think that they're feeling vulnerable, and they want to do something they feel comfortable doing. They want to grow into it more before they launch into the ones on mastering mediation or something. So yeah, so right now that's kind of the direction it's going in. And 2 paths to become a distinguished Toastmaster. Yes?
We got one back here.
Yeah.
I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
The first one is, I belong to 3 different clubs. How is Pathways going to work with the fact that I've got 3 different clubs to which I'm going to be giving speeches, I'm going to be performing roles, and doing other responsibilities through Toastmasters?
I'm so glad you asked that.
That's
the reason
one.
I'm glad you asked that was because until about 2 weeks ago, it was damn near impossible. You, whatever club you're in, that was what you were in, and you were in there forever, and by God, if you're going to be on a pathway saying you had to be in that club, but only that club the whole time. So, that just changed. What happens now is that when you are a member of multiple clubs, you don't have to go out and declare one of those clubs your primary club. Now you can actually, Pathways is going to be kind of more like Easy Speak. It's going to start allowing you to keep track of wherever you are, it will keep track of wherever else you are. So you can have it in all clubs.
And my second question, as a professional speaker, I use Toastmasters as a chance to hone my skills.
Right.
So I will give the same speech multiple times for different projects. Is that still going to be allowed in the new program?
Why wouldn't it be? Yeah, I mean, I've done that. I've gone out and given, for example, when I go out and do ambassador talks to different clubs, well, I give the same talk basically to every club I go to, and then when I leave that club, I go and I make sure somebody evaluates it, and it'll be that same speech I've given, it'll be in 3 different manuals. There'll be different projects, same speech. So yes, you can still do that. Waffy.
I have 2 questions also.
Oh no, what? Hey guys, come on, multiple questions. Don't hog the space.
So the first one, it's a follow-up question.
By the way, she was one who raised her hand about who she knows everything. So I expect this to be a whopper.
Actually,
no pressure.
No pressure. I'm looking for clarification. One, I think you mentioned that ambassadors, Pathway ambassadors, also get credit toward their DTM.
I did.
Okay, so just for the ones who are in the room, if you could tell us what the new development is in terms of how many clubs to serve.
Oh, okay.
The other clarification you just
I hate
mentioned.
to do that, but it needs to be done. So
that's all right.
Sometimes you got to take that Band-Aid off quick, you know. Okay.
The other question is a follow-up to her question. As a dual member, if I'm working with Pathways, which club gets the DCP points?
Whichever one you say.
Okay. Because you were saying that TI is keeping track, so...
Not anymore. No, they've relaxed on that. See, what happened, before, you had to change your primary club to get credit for the Pathways in another club, which meant that, okay, now you can only have that point count in that club. Now, if you want to apply for DTM, and you say, you know, I've done most of it with Club ABC, but really I want to give credit to CDE. Gosh, you can do that. Say, give my pathways, give my designation, my awards, credit that to Club B. So you can designate which club the credit goes to. Yeah, that's new. Now about that Band-Aid. To get that credit for DTM, as an ambassador or as a guide, you must have a minimum 8 clubs that you're serving, minimum 8 clubs, maximum 10 clubs. So there's areas that are challenged. Right, we're sitting in one of those places. Right around Georgetown here, in fact, actually if I want to go over to Templeton, there's only, 4 clubs there? And there's not another club within 40, 50, 60 miles. So I happen to know that we have, I think, 3 people in that area who want to be ambassadors. There's only 4 clubs geographically reachable for them. How are we going to resolve that? I don't know. But we're not alone. The concern that I'm hearing from other Pathways chief ambassadors in other parts of the world is that they are talking about having one club that's 200 miles from anywhere. So how do we make that one of somebody's 8 or 10 clubs? So TI, the board of directors actually, is looking at that issue and looking when we have remote situations, how do we serve the club, and how most importantly how do we serve the club? How do we serve the members? We are, after all, an organization that serves our members. Period. First rule. Does this serve the members? Second thing they're looking at is, well, then how can we make it work? How can we make this work when we have a club that's geographically remote? I'm from Hawaii. We have clubs on 4 islands. It's not getting in the car and driving over. It's a $150, $200 airplane ride. And so, how do you handle that? How do you handle that within a district budget and things like that? So we worked it out, and I'm quite sure that the International Organization of Toastmasters will work that out. But that's the rules. Right now, it is minimum 8, maximum 10. Kathy, right behind you.
I probably don't need a microphone, though.
Yes, you do.
I do?
Yes.
If it's an online program, why does it matter how geographically close the clubs are? Why couldn't they do WebEx meetings or whatever to
You were so
do the
intuitive.
coaching?
You are intuitive, and she's right. And this is something we're waking up to. Oh, yeah. Oh, hello. Virtual. And so that's one of the things that they're looking at, haven't approved it yet, but they're looking at is allowing virtual visits so that we can do a webinar. We can visit the club electronically. We don't have to physically get there. And I think that is going to happen because really in this day and age it's going to have to happen. So, but when it's going to happen, I don't know. But I know that the board is considering that idea right now. Yes. Good question, Kathy.
So you said that you're taking away the CC, you're taking away all the titles. You'd be a Toastmaster and then you'd be a DTM.
Mm-hmm.
So how do clubs earn DCP points? How is that going to affect the DCP program?
Good question. Very astute. As people progress on their path, well, there's 5 levels, and what happens is, well, when you get into a path, the first thing you need to do, the first level to get to level 1, is you complete 3 projects. In some paths, it's actually 4. But mostly is you complete 3 projects, and you're going to get your first award. That award counts. That's called a level 1. Okay? A club that gets 2 level 1s in the club, that's 1 point. Okay, then if they get a couple level 2s, that's another point. Level 3, that's another point. And so that's how it's going to work. And we've got charts, they're online. By the way, I'm going to be putting up on our District 55 website, I don't know how soon we can get it up there, but I've got a new tool that just came out of Australia, the District 69 down there. And a guy by the name of Mark Snow, their chief ambassador, put together a kit, and we're calling it the New Club Kit. And what it is when your club gets ready to roll out, you will be given physically a kit that has all kinds of stuff in it. So right now we have this pre-launch kit that The snow is put together, and the thing about it is it's got great tools within it. And it will introduce you to some of the pathways things. Go to the district55 or tmd55.org beginning in a few weeks, and those things will be under the pathways, and they will be right there, and you'll see, it'll say new club kit. And you can actually get into that. You can download, it's mostly PDF files. And so you can download it and take a look at some stuff. And it shows you what base camp looks like, and it shows you a lot of other things. But like I say, it's moot to talk about those things now because it's a year out. And we just won't remember any of that stuff. I want to talk about the context of what Pathways is about. So that's what we're talking about tonight. Yes?
If someone becomes an ambassador or a guide, will they be eligible for mileage reimbursement for over 50 miles?
Yes. It's whatever the district policy is. We have it now. Districts were instructed at the beginning, July 1st of this year, ambassadors and the chief ambassador can get reimbursed for mileage. The district doesn't like it a whole lot because that takes out of their budget, but oh well, that's their problem.
Doug, this will be the last question. Choose wisely.
Who told you that? Okay, we can make this our last question. Because I want to do a little summary anyway. Yes. Who had the question?
No, you get to choose. The last one.
Oh, the last one? Oh, all the way in the back, because I want to see you run. You're not sweating enough.
All the way at the back.
A gentleman all the way in the back. Stand up. Wait. She wasn't waving. You were.
Hello, my name is Avelina Alvarado. My question is, you mentioned a lot of the Toastmaster members currently don't go past the CC. So in the Pathways program, what is new or what has been updated to make Toastmaster members continue completing projects?
Good question. Did everybody get that? Yeah. She says only a few people get past CC, and only, what do we say, less than 1% ever take on any advanced. So what's Pathways, how's it different that's going to have us want to continue, want to do more? That word I was looking for earlier, relevancy. Truly, when you see, when you get your hands on Pathways and when you begin to use the tools that are in there and begin to adopt those tools into your own process, you're going to see that what's happening is you're gaining. You're gaining a lot more. You will hear about it from your peers, not just your Toastmasters. You're going to hear about it from a lot of other people. You're going to see it in yourself, and you're going to see it in other people who you know are using Pathways. And I think that's what that's going to do is inspire people at a peer level. It's going to inspire more people to get more active. And that's how it's going to get people doing more, because they're going to see the value of it. They're going to want to do more than one path. They're going to want to do, they want to do more than 2 paths. There's 10 of them out there right now, and there'll be more. But right now we're at 10. You start on your path, and let me wrap this up with this. You're going to start on your path by taking a test or by taking a survey. You're going to complete this survey. Now, people who are a lot smarter than me have put together algorithms that will take however you answer questions. There's no wrong answer kind of thing. All the choices in there are questions about, which would you rather do? How would you react? Most likely, how would you react? There's these guys which will tell Pathways, will tell the system that this is the path for that person, and Pathways will come back and suggest a path to you. Now, I've talked to the people who are already actively doing. Oh, by the way, we have one guy in District 57. His name is Gary Wong, who is almost to his DTM. He's a past district governor, and apparently he has some past district office stuff in his portfolio that he can use. So that was gone right away. But the thing is he's gone through and he's nearly completed 2 paths. And they started on February the 7th. This guy is a guide, Pathways guide. He's talking to clubs, and as George Marshall, the fellow who's the chief ambassador for that district, says, this guy, you wouldn't believe him. He just goes. And everything he does, he's talking Pathways. The guy doesn't have a life. I know how that is. And so it's like, yeah, and so now we will have our first, he wants to be DTM by the end of this year, and he's going to get there. So we'll have our first Pathways DTM coming out by the end of this year. Darn, I wanted to do that. But we won't even be rolled out by then. So, here's the thing. Pathways Guide, you're hearing that word, and I don't want to say it too much. But to be a Pathways Guide, it means that you are committed. You will be serving your clubs. It means you're also, by the way, you're going to earn your credit for DTM. Because you're going to have what they call office hours. That means you're going to be available to the clubs that you're assigned. You're going to be available to those clubs during certain hours of certain days of the week, every time. So that you can be responsive to those clubs. The job of the Pathways Guide is to be the technical support, really, for pathways into the club. You'll be working with the president, the educational vice president, secretary of the club to make sure that they thoroughly and absolutely understand how to work pathways. And that's your job. As soon as you're done with that job, you can move on. It's only a 6-month requirement. Well, I say that a minimum 6 months. And so that's what the guide is about. We will not be accepting applications for guides until we know when we're going to roll out. And we'll be accepting the applications to become a guide about 3 months before we actually start our rollout. Because there's training to be done, and the training is mandatory. So you will have to, it's online training. You can do it at your, quote, own pace, but it is a requirement. We must have, before we can actually roll out, we must have a 70% saturation of our guides into our clubs. So 70% of our clubs must have been visited by the guides before we're allowed to roll out. The TI is counting. The guides will be very closely monitored. You will have direct links to Toastmasters International, and you will deal with them directly. You also have to put up with me. And so that's kind of the guide, and there's not much to say about that because we can't do it until roughly 3 months before we're actually going to launch. The ambassadors, we have 37 ambassadors out there, and some are busy and they're covering their clubs. Some are bugging me. They're saying, well, how do we do this and how do we do that? You're one. And so, but there's not many of them. Of the 37, I'll bet there's probably fewer than 8 who are actively involved in getting out and seeing their clubs and actually making sure that they're understanding what's coming, what's happening. So the rest of them, well, they're just laying back. And I don't mind that because, well, there's nothing to say right now. We really don't know a whole lot. We can tell them more and more and more about how Pathways is. There's more and more available on the Toastmasters website that you can go to. Just click on Education, go to Toastmasters.org, homepage, click on Education, which is the second one from the left. Education will open up. Right there is Pathways. Click on Pathways. You can go in, you can do a sample of your icebreaker. You'll see the icebreaker project right there. And you can go in and you can actually do that if you want to. It won't count for anything, but you can do it. Won't hurt you. You never learn less. You want me to fly? Okay. She's getting closer. She's okay. And she has a weapon in her hand. Guys, thank you so much. Yeah. I am out of here.